Released in 2014, Unity was set against the explosive backdrop of the French Revolution. It introduced co-op multiplayer for the first time in the series and showcased stunning, detailed architecture, especially the digital reconstruction of Notre Dame. But its launch was marred by bugs, performance issues, and intense scrutiny. Over time, however, Unity's reputation has quietly shifted. Was it ahead of its time? To help me answer these questions, I've got my good friends Nathan and Commander Buck. How are we doing today, guys?
That intro was badass. I love it.
Thanks, bro. Like I said, I made some changes. I got a script. Shit is real.
That's awesome. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Buck?
Well, good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Good.
It's all good. I love it. I love it.
Right, go for it.
Cool. So what we've done in the past is we kind of have gone over a multitude of games at once. But last time we did this, I kind of felt that it was quite broad. We covered so much. So this time I've chosen just Unity, and we're going to cover just Unity. But we're going to go into Unity a little bit more than we have with the other titles. I've got a little bit of a script here that I'm going to read. I've broken it up into different sections just so we can kind of have a talk about the different sections and see how we feel, because I feel like this is the point in the series where Assassin's Creed could have failed. Like we discussed last time, the last kind of 3 or 4 games were definitely like on a decline of how good we thought they were. Assassin's Creed Unity came out and it was very ambitious. They had made a whole bunch of changes, and at the start it didn't work. But I think as it's gone on, like I said at the start, like a lot of people love Unity. I personally think it's got some of the best combat that Assassin's Creed has got in the whole series. But yeah, so we'll just get stuck straight into it. So let's start with the soul of Unity. Ubisoft Montreal recreated 18th century Paris with stunning precision. From the slums to the opulence of the Paris de Luxembourg. Now, I've been to Paris and I went to a lot of these sites in Unity, and I will say that they are fucking impressive. Seeing them like in real life, you're walking through these narrow streets, and then you turn a corner, and there's just this building, and it's so big that you can't even comprehend how big it is, even when you see it in pictures and you see it on maps and you see it on like it is so big, and people live like this close to it. Like the houses that are around the building, people live in them, and then there's just this massive monument. It's unreal, absolutely unreal.
And I've heard that the game, like the way they took the actual like comparison, was very close. Like they kind of like Spider-Man did with New York.
It's almost a 1-to-1 like replica of Paris.
Yep.
And they did such a good job that the digital reconstruction of Notre Dame, they did it, and they made it down to all the individual statues that were in Notre Dame itself. So when Notre Dame burnt down, they used Unity to rebuild Notre Dame.
That's
which
incredible.
Is pretty fucking cool.
That's incredible.
That's really cool.
When we were in Paris, we went to Notre Dame, and it's like heartbreaking because we saw it like when it was all burnt down. And like just to see like so much history and so much like there, like I'm not a religious person, but like just seeing all the history and all the like just sitting there and like in rubble was just like, this is pretty crazy. I haven't been back since, so but it's been has it been finished? Do we? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think it has been. I think it has been.
Yeah. Mm. So yeah, so they recreate the digital reconstruction was so good that they used the model to do the restoration work, which I thought was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
Like
that
what
is.
to think that like they put in so much work into making Paris. Like Paris was more than just a map; it was almost like the second character. Like the it was, and it was so full of life as well. We'll get into it further, but there was 1,000 NPCs rendered at any one time in the map. So wherever you moved, 1,000 people kind of moved with you. So there was no point where you would turn and there would be no one there. Unreal.
It's crazy.
So, first question: what were your initial impressions of the setting of Unity?
Buck, you want to go first?
Oh, that's a good question. And then funny enough, like we were just talking, I just downloaded and kind of like was playing through it again. Um, it's so incredibly big and beautiful, and it feels like it's living. You know what I mean? Like it really doesn't feel like a static location. It just gives so much charm to the game. And like you said, I think you just said it, where it feels like the second character. Like it really like just shines, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, because what it was 2014, so it is 11 years old now. To think that that was, kind of what they were doing 11 years ago, pretty impressive.
I just started dating my
Nathan,
wife of 10 years when that game came out.
Yeah,
I've been thinking
amazing.
about I was thinking about our dating
Yeah.
relationship while revisiting this game this week because I'm just like, yeah, no,
Oh,
this reminds me of that time period. But yeah, no, I think my impressions was like, oh, this is very different for the franchise. The settings, the location of it. And then it's just the more you play it, the more you realize, wow, this really fits. You know, we've talked a lot about Shadows this year and how it's perfect for the franchise, and this is what we've always wanted. And, you know, Paris was the one where it's like, oh, this is what we didn't know we needed. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I think that was
Yep.
kind of the whole vibe of it. Even like the costumes doesn't necessarily look like your typical assassin's outfit. And you're just kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one. But then you go into it and you're just, it feels so right. And, you know, with the I'm sure we'll get into it more, but like the implementation of the parkour system and how you like run through buildings and stuff and, you know, go into that cutscene of like jumping over tables, like just everything about that game. Yeah, it feels lived in. I think Buck, you nailed it. It feels so lived in, and you feel like you're like, even if I recall, maybe I'm making this up in my mind, but I somewhat remember like people, NPCs being in the houses whenever you run through them, and like them being like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa, like holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of intense, and for it to be an 11-year-old game, like I was talking about my son being super into Spider-Man. Like I cracked open Spider-Man 2 just for him to swing around and, you know, for him to get obsessed over, which was a mistake. But he he was just sitting there crawling on the walls like really slowly. And it's crazy how we don't, like, us as gamers and adults, we don't like sit down, take time to like take in all the details. Each individual window in that game has a room decorated and looks lit. I'm
And
just
it-
like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insomniac, you didn't have to go that far. Holy crap. But, you know, I feel for Assassin's Creed Unity to, like, kind of have that level of detail, like, yeah, no, crazy that they were doing that 11 years ago. But, you know, it's got a couple mistakes, so throw it in the trash can. Like, gee, many fucking Christmas
Yeah.
people, come on.
Jiminy Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. It was it was really interesting doing research on Unity because like obviously it's set during the French Revolution, right?
Mhm.
I did not know a lot about the French Revolution. So I did a little bit of deep dive into the French Revolution. Isn't it funny how history repeats itself?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is happening in America right now was what was happening at the start of the French Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Political mistrust, civilian unrest, the army being in the streets, like all of these things, people just stopped trusting the people that were in charge because I was reading through the population of Paris grew by 8 million people in just under 2 years. All of a sudden, the middle class system fell apart. And there was two tiers. There was the extremely rich and everyone else. There wasn't enough food. There wasn't enough jobs. There wasn't enough houses. There was just not enough of everything. And people started to get upset about it. And to stop people from getting upset, what did they do? They set up a guillotine in the square and they just started cutting people's heads off.
Gee whiz.
16,000 people were killed.
Oh.
16,000 people were sent to the guillotine. And then enough was enough. And the people revolted. And I did drama through school. And Les Mis was something that we studied. And playing Unity felt like I was in Les Mis.
Yeah.
Like just everything that was happening around you was just like, and so I guess the next question was Unity. Unity came right after Black Flag, which had an open sea, freewheeling tone. How do you think the darker, more politically charged Paris shifted the tone of the franchise? Do you think it was a good idea to move away from the fun and go, let's get real.
It was a phenomenal idea. It absolutely phenomenal idea. I remember when I first experienced the game, it was that thing of I remember just feeling like, okay, yeah, I say it almost every time a new Assassin's Creed game comes out, like, oh, this is my favorite. This is my new favorite. But I remember specifically with Unity, my reasoning for being like, this is one of the best ones was its tone, its story. And I watched a recap this week. Because I was like, I don't have time to go back and revisit this entire game and play through it, even though I'd love to. But I don't have time, so I'm just gonna watch this recap. And that damn game is like a soap opera.
Yeah.
The assassin master who was secretly a Templar actually killed his master using poison, but it was his brother's lover who loved his sister. It's just like absolutely wild to keep up with.
Yeah.
And it is dark. It is dark. It's hard to keep up with, and it takes its history seriously. And I think it's added some confusion. I'm gonna try not to derail here, but when
please.
it comes to like the confusion of Assassin's Creed games now, you've got this implementation of mythological creatures and going off the rails and going into that direction. So then when people get mad and be like, hey, we miss the historic aspect of things, we miss the deep dives, and people are like, Assassin's Creed has never been that. I think that's where the disconnect is happening when it comes to the franchise, right? Because it's like, it is that thing. We just talked about Notre Dame being rebuilt based off of this structure from the game. Like, it's things like that I feel like the franchise is craving more of. And I think Unity was at its peak. Like, the franchise was at its peak with Unity when it comes to that. But yeah, no, I absolutely the right call to go in this darker direction. But I'm a little biased because I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy. Grew up on Batman, not Spider-Man. I'm always into the darker stuff.
Yeah.
But how about you, Buck?
That's funny that you say that because I'm more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I like about DC. Like, they have the darker tones, especially if you go into like Dark Horse comics and you start reading that, like we were talking about Wanted earlier. I really enjoy those stories. Like when things go to that, darker, more mature tone. And I think this is a correct decision for this game to get into those themes. Like the
Yes.
French Revolution is a very very interesting theme to talk about, especially in this setting of assassins and stuff like that. Um, I really enjoyed it, and I agree with everything you said.
Because it's just again going back to it, the Templars using the chaos of the revolution to spread their agenda. I don't know. Didn't I read that in the news this morning? Like, isn't that happening right now?
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Like, is the new Assassin's Creed gonna be set in 2025?
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and then
storming the Capitol scene, implementing Assassins and Templars into that. Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that'd be
insane,
Oh,
absolutely insane. So, moving on, gameplay wise, we're getting into some really really touchy waters. So let's just
we go
power
slap it out.
yeah.
OB. Left trigger B.
Yeah, right. That's right. So yeah, gameplay wise, Unity introduced several core changes. Gone with the naval battles, which I think we're all pretty happy about. Gone with the naval battles of previous entries. Instead, we got parkour refinements, stealth mechanics, and for the first time, 4-player co-op. You could customize Arno with RPG upgrades, skills, weapons, gear loader, and gear loadouts, far more than previous protagonists. But that came at a cost. New systems meant a steeper learning curve. Now, questions. Let's talk parkour. The new up, down parkour buttons. What do we think? Do you remember how parkour worked in Unity?
No,
there
I
was
don't.
So there were up. So when you were running, you could hold a specific button and Arno would parkour up, or you could hold another button and Arno would parkour down. So there was a lot more kind of streamlined. I need to get up there, so I'm going to hold my up, and he's just going to make his way up. I need to drop down to that ledge and continue on. You change to down, and he'll parkour down. Where I think in the previous titles, the parkour was a bit janky, and you'd be climbing, and then all of a sudden you'd just leap left.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going that way? And getting down to places was always difficult. You'd either run and you just jump to your death, or you would kind of run and then you would stop and turn around and climb down. And it was like, I think the new parkour refinements definitely kind of made you feel more involved in parkour, like 100%.
Steve's like, GSC is canceled.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
GSC.
I left it open to interpretation. Depending on your viewpoints, the Templars could have been on, trying to stop the, riots, or they could have been trying to incite them. That's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
It's all in perspective, all right? It's whatever you want to think it is.
So, how do we feel about co-op? Do we think it was a good investment, or do you think it kind of took away from what Assassin's Creed was trying to do?
I don't think it took away. I think it added something kind of interesting to the formula. Like you said earlier, this game really had a rocky start, right? Like the bugs, and people kind of really shit on this game. Like for things that I think are small, but these days it's still kind of a joke about, like, Unity sucks or whatever. But I think the co-op added something really special to the game. So, and I've never played the co-op, so like it's still cool and kind of intriguing to me. So, I don't think it took anything away.
You're gonna get a chance soon. I think
I know.
we're gonna
excited.
we're gonna jump into some co-op. But yeah, Um, I I wish they had stuck with it. I thought it was cool. I thought because what they kind of did was this is where Assassin's Creed started to evolve. It stopped being about here's your target, go and kill them. It's about here's your target, how do you want to kill them? And you could kind of position yourself wherever you wanted. There was no set pace of like you have to sit here and stab him and put him on the chair and move on like the first one. This was more like, do I want to fight? Are we ready for a fight? Are we kitted out for a fight? Do I have my big two-handed axe?
Mhm.
No, I don't. All right, let's go from range and start using rifles and our crossbows and they really started to dive more into. I feel like this is where the RPG thing started,
Mm.
and they really were like, I think they had an idea of where they wanted to go, and this was almost like a working demo of how can we start implementing some RPG stuff into Assassin's Creed, because it also it introduced like manual healing, which was another thing that they got rid of, and then kind of brought back. Less reliance on Eagle Vision was another thing.
Yeah.
Eagle Vision was no way near as good as it had been or is now, which is kind of I liked that about Shadows. Like Yasuke not having Eagle Vision was like, oh, this is difficult now. Like how do I get in here? I wish that they somehow because like again with Yasuke, there's not a lot of sneaking with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just rush in. You're like, fuck, I don't know what's on the other side of this wall. Let's just go and kill
Oh,
it
well.
anyway.
Literally
Like
busted
if
open.
if you
Yeah, going
if
right
you're
through the wall.
Nawe and you didn't have Eagle Vision, how and because she can die pretty easily. If I just leap over this wall, what's on the other side? I don't know.
Mhm.
Somehow I have to find out. So yeah, cool. Um, and then I guess the last bit was the customization of armor, weapons, and skills. Do we think that was a good introduction? Are we happy? Are we happy with that?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like customizing
Yeah.
to whatever you want. Because I feel like we talked about in the last episode, the introduction of like how Assassin's Creed had a like store and all that stuff, and we talked about how you could access stuff from different time periods, and we put that into our perfect game or whatever. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you have all these customizing options, it's like I would love to have certain things from uh Assassin's Creed 2 mixed in with some, details from the Revolution and stuff. Like I'm sitting here looking at a couple statues and trying to take apart my favorite things of both outfits and what would be my dream assassin. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, customization's
Yeah.
always better.
This was the first time where we could actually change how we looked and not just the color.
Mhm.
It was not just a color change. It was actually you have head pieces, you have chest pieces, your arms, your legs, and there weren't just like a couple. There were dozens. Because I'm sure you both did. Like I loaded up Unity just before, just to have a quick look at it, and there is a lot of stuff. You can customize your assassin to look very, very cool.
Hey Carrie.
All right.
I see you in the chat. Yeah, I raised my microphone volume. Let me know if that helps at all.
Is it a bit? Oh yeah, bit low, are you? Bit low.
Yeah.
A wee bit.
All
low.
right. Yep. We can't talk about Unity without mentioning its infamous launch. Floating eyes, broken animations, poor frame rates. It became a meme overnight. But Ubisoft stuck with it, rolling out massive patches over several months. Eventually, they even gave away the Dead Kings DLC for free, which is why, Nathan, you mentioned it the other day. You're like, I didn't know there was DLC. There is, because they gave it to you.
Yeah.
So thank the Ubisoft overlords.
I can't wait to get into
Thank-
it.
yeah.
I was like, I don't
Yeah.
even remember like buying extra or buying a gold edition. I didn't even think there was like a gold edition of the
Well,
game.
no, because they gave it all to you
Yeah,
because
crazy.
of
Yeah.
because the launch was so bad. So back in 2014, I wasn't concerned about bugs. They were annoying,
Yeah,
but it didn't break a game for me.
same. Yeah.
Floating eyes, I'll be like, huh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Move on.
Yeah, yep.
You know how some people get really hung up on it?
Yeah.
Like really hung up on like dropped frames. If you see a pair of floating eyeballs, mate, that is
I'm done. I'm
unplayable. This
out.
game's
Yeah.
unplayable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, it's annoying. I think the only thing that stops me is like a game breaking bug, like picking up something that isn't there and I can't progress until I pick this
Yeah.
thing up.
Yep.
But you don't really run into that much anymore. You can usually just kind of reload something and it'll spawn in.
Mhm.
Today, Unity is often cited by fans as underrated or even a hidden gem.
Yep.
But does it deserve this status?
100%.
At launch,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah.
I thought that was a
No,
question.
no, you no. Were you there at launch? And what was your experience?
Yes.
So did you buy this day one?
Yes, 100%. I bought this day
Yep.
one. I was very excited.
Yep.
Again, you know, same dude I always talk about when it comes to getting hyped for Dragon Age Inquisition. That was another game that we were getting really hyped for. We were so excited to hop into the co-op, and I'm the same as you, Phrase. I don't give a shit about these bugs. Like, okay, whatever. Nothing was game breaking. Yeah, there was some issues with trying to find matches in co-op, and you know, when it comes to the co-op, it's surprising because that was like one of the biggest features I was excited for in the game, and yet it was something I explored very little of. But and it's primarily because I did have issues trying to find people to play with or staying connected to the match. It definitely didn't work that great, but it was that thing of like that didn't bother me because the single player was so amazing, the story was so amazing, the setting was I absolutely agree it is just a hidden gem that people dismissed immediately and it never went back to. And you know, I hear it on all the time on podcasts that I listen to. It's like if a game has a bad launch, that just kills it. Jedi Survivor, one of my top 10 favorite games of all fucking time. Like, undoubtedly. I still think about that game. And yet, it's just completely written off because it had a bad PC launch. Like, can we not with this? I understand. I understand. Listen, I'm not trying to downplay people who like, you know, pay $70 and you get a game and you expect it to fucking work. It's a AAA game.
100%.
You expect something. You expect to get your money's worth. You have these expectations and they're not met. I get that and I understand it and respect it. And I think you have every right to be upset about those things. But to also say this is a bad game because of these bugs and issues and stuff, it's like, well, that's not true. Like, it's not this one and the same. You know, I'm sorry it didn't meet your expectations at launch, but just sit on it and wait until it's actually ready to play. I mean, this is why so many gamers are waiting a year or 2 years after a game comes out, buys it used or buys it, you know, later on. You know, that's a whole different discussion because then you get into the topic of, well, you want to support a game right on launch. And so, yeah, that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, no, absolutely. Hidden gem.
Yeah. What about you, Jonathan? Have you got any thoughts on that?
So I bought it at launch. I don't remember actually when I got into it, and I think I agree with everything that Nathan said. I think it also led to, you know, Ubisoft jank being a phrase. Like I feel like this game was the catalyst for that. Like the Ubisoft jank and people like it's funny because you talk about Ubisoft and I feel like Ubisoft is one of those publishers that I usually buy a lot of their stuff, right?
Yep.
Like um when it comes to them putting out something, pretty much going to get it. I'm surprised I don't have Avatar yet, but um, it feels like they got, and rightfully so. The game was pretty, when it comes to animations and stuff that doesn't really bother me but can bother other people. It was really kind of just half baked, but they fixed it and they gave you, free DLC, which they really didn't have to do. And I'm not defending a corporation. There are other things that we can shit on Ubisoft for.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, like I think this game got a really unfair rap, and it really just didn't let up
Mm-hmm.
until like maybe the last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe I think people going back and playing it during pandemic kind of got some of the heat off. But because this game, like, I feel like this game didn't have got more flack, but didn't have as bad as a no, maybe Cyberpunk was a little bit worse. But Cyberpunk was so weird because some people like had like absolute game breaking bugs, and some people just didn't. Like I ran through it and I didn't have any troubles. Like
Yeah.
I think my character fell through the floor once and that was it. But like a friend of mine like really just couldn't play the game. Like it was just so broken.
Husky's in the chat. He's like, he's waiting for Mind's Eye to hit 25 or less. Yeah.
I'm with
100%.
him.
Yeah.
My Cyberpunk thing was much the same as you, Jonathan, except there was one cyber psycho that didn't spawn. So I got the call. There's a cyber psycho at this location, and I would go there, and he was just
Nothing.
not there.
Yeah.
All the sounds for him being there were there, but he wasn't. So I think I put the game down, and then I picked it back up, and I started again, and he was there. And I played through, and I didn't have much of a problem, and I fell in love with Cyberpunk and the world. And
Same here.
I haven't played the DLC yet. I plan to. Brilliant game.
Absolutely.
I think we've got to give these people a second chance, right?
Yeah.
You can't just write them off straight away. We all make mistakes. It's when we continuously make those mistakes, then okay, yeah, maybe we can start to whatever.
Yep.
But like CD Projekt Red had a almost perfect fucking record with The Witches.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried something new and it didn't work, but then they fixed it.
And
Same
spent
with
a lot of
Ubisoft.
time and money
Yeah.
on fixing
Yeah.
it. And like, I'm not, I know, the immediate things going, oh, you're caping for corporations and fuck that. I really just don't care. But
No.
at the same time, like I'm all about giving people grace. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you said, shit happens, things break. Like in everybody's life, nothing is perfect. And it just isn't. I wish it was, but that's just life.
Yeah.
You gotta just give people, including people that work at corporations, grace. Because things you don't know what type of crunch they was under, or whatever may have happened to cause the situation. And you see people like tweet at devs like crazy shit, like just like
Yeah.
deranged,
Yeah.
whatever mess. And
Nev-
it just
Never
for
forget
me,
the
it's just
poison
not worth
cupcakes
it.
to BioWare.
Yeah, yeah, just craziness. But I don't know, like I said, it didn't really bother me. Like
No.
it just is what it is. It was broken, and and it became a meme and a joke. But
and it sucks because I feel like that's the thing that's kept them from exploring the co-op route more since then. We
Yes.
haven't had a
Yeah.
co-op experience or a multiplayer experience ever since. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about the multiplayer experience, but I'm pretty sure they just immediately called it quits and never worked on that or
Yeah.
refining it. And
Yep.
I'm sure we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but it's like, yeah, I want co-op to be in our Ultimate Assassin's Creed game.
I think, I think that's a good thing.
And like,
And you hit the nail on the head. Like I feel like because this game landed so like when it came out was so just terrible. People just like pariah did.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
co-op took a good beating from that. And it probably, when this game came out and they look at, you do the I don't know, the autopsy, I guess would be a word that you can use, of the game release. And that was probably one of those things that they were like, yeah, we're not going to put this in the next one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then just think that the technology has advanced so much,
Yeah.
and the servers have advanced so much.
Yep.
Avatar's got co-op. The new bloody Far Cry's have all got
yeah,
co-op.
Far Cry. Yep.
Yeah.
Like now's the time to introduce co-op.
Yep.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
if one person was Nawe and one person was Yasuke,
Yep.
and
would
you
be
that'd be dope.
phenomenal.
tackled the same castle at the same time? Like, oh man,
That'd be a great
Well, I
way to
mean,
reintroduce it.
They've used a lot of co-op in Ghost Recon, so
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
So they know how to
yes.
do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just want to point out perfect other examples aside from Cyberpunk, Star Wars Outlaws 2 and Callisto Protocol. I know I gave Callisto Protocol a lot of shit, but they never even gave that game a second chance. They poured so much funds into that game. So much
Yeah,
funds.
And it's a damn good game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and
totaled it.
Never
Hey,
could explore other opportunities, ways to improve it, ways to make it better, or to appeal to a wider audience. No, nothing. Just, all right, you didn't make it out the gate, you're
Yeah.
dead. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
It's like,
unfortunately, game development. I'm so sorry.
No.
Game development is so expensive, and I guess it gets so cutthroat. You know what I mean? Like, even in looking at taking another example out of nowhere, it's Concord. Like, the game came out and died in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fraser,
Yeah.
you were talking.
No, well then, and just carrying on from that, then other developers give more time to their stuff. Like again, that Ubisoft first-person shooter that came out and then got cancelled like a year later. Like they were like, we're gonna give this a go. Some people are liking it, some people are playing it. Let's do it. And then after that amount of time, okay, it's still not working. Let's close this down.
Yep.
Like I bought Unity over Rogue because they came out on the same day.
Mhm.
I bought Unity over Rogue, and like Unity did so badly that all of the sales figures that I could find had them paired together.
Yeah.
There was no just Unity figures, and there were no just Rogue figures. They were just combined, which is really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it really sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Just
got Carrie was talking about how he would love to just have it just be an co-op optional thing. And yeah, I think co-op optional in a mainline game, but also maybe just a standalone smaller title that is, if you are going to do co-op only, then have it be a standalone smaller title that's like 20 40 bucks.
there's a couple of missions
Yes.
that you can do
Yes.
co-op or
The equivalent
something.
of FBC Freiburg, the equivalent of Helldivers 2, something like that. And then
Yeah.
Steve was also
Yeah.
bringing up he thinks Hitman is going to solidify the co-op assassination genre. That's honestly, I think that's a great call out.
Yeah. Definitely. We've answered the next few questions, so I'm just going to roll through them anyway. So, do we think the buggy release unfairly buried the game's deeper achievements?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do think that it was much better than kind of what we let it out to be. Unity's crowd system was groundbreaking with up to 10,000 NPCs rendered at once. Was that tech worth the trade-off in performance? So I don't know. Could we, that 10,000 NPCs on screen at a time is quite a lot, but would 5,000 NPCs on screen at a time have changed the feeling of Paris? Because like we decided, like Paris felt alive. Paris felt lived in and real. Would less people have done that, and could they have put those resources into making it more stable? I'm not a game developer, so I don't have an answer to that. But it is something that we can possibly think about. And then the last... Oh, sorry.
Can I
Nathan?
insert myself here? I was just going to say, I mean, goes back to the Doom Dark Ages thing of options. Add more options. Add, like, customize your experience. And
Mm-hmm.
yet, they clearly wanted you to experience this many NPCs. It's as simple as putting it into the options, putting developer recommended setting, and then giving me the option to not go with that because I personally prefer performance. Personally, I didn't have a problem with it. I would probably be using it on recommended settings, but to the people who that ruined their experience, give them the option to turn it down.
Yeah, agreed. And then the last thing, in 2025, how does Unity hold up visually and mechanically compared to newer titles like Valhalla or Mirage?
Visually,
I
That's a
like,
good question.
yeah,
That's a
yep,
good question.
visually. What? So I turned it on this morning just before we hopped on. It looks damn good.
yeah.
I did not play much. I was actually more concerned about how my assassin looked. So I was going through all the customization options, and then I was like, "Shit, it's 10 o'clock. Let's go."
Oh man, that's a
So
great question.
I guess we can hold this question in the back of our minds, so then when we play it, maybe we can answer it. We can answer it then.
I was pulling up my game right now to kind of like actually look at it because it's been so long since I've actually been in game to be able to sit there and give a
Yep.
better comparison. Because in my mind, I'm like, they all look the same after a while, but then when you like start revisiting 10-year-old ones, it's definitely a lot different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Unity took a more personal approach to storytelling. Arno, a noble orphan raised by assassins, is driven less by ideology and more by love and revenge. His relationship with Elsie, a Templar, adds a Romeo and Juliet layer to this classic assassins versus Templars story. Now, for those of you that don't remember, Arno, our main Templar, was raised by an assassin who was then killed by a Templar, and then his training was finished by a Templar. He then goes off to find his father's killer, who obviously is a Templar. He is in love with Elsie, who is a Templar, but he was raised by assassins. And so she is looking for the person who killed her father. He is looking for the person that killed his father. And it turns out that they were both each other's families that killed each other's families. It's a really heavy story, all with the French Revolution happening in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you rank Arno among Assassin's Creed protagonists?
Oh man, that's a whole podcast in its of itself.
Is he forgettable?
Ooh.
Do we think he's forgettable? Do you think he's in the bottom of the group?
I think he's at the bottom.
You think-
he's pretty? I think he's pretty cool. He has a really interesting
Yeah.
story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, my most hated, and I use this word liberally, my most hated assassin is Basim. I fucking hate him and everything that he stands for. Mirage was such a brilliant game, but playing as Basim, I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Arno, while he's very cool, I forget that he is even one.
Yeah.
Personally, he's but then maybe replaying this now later, I'm gonna get more of a sense of what he stands for. But as it stands right now, 11-year ago Fraser didn't care for Arno.
Hmm.
See, I guess I'm struggling because on one hand, I really love the fact that he was so different. I love the fact that he had different motivations than others in the past.
Yes.
And I did love the romance aspect of it, and that was something I was thinking about leading into this. Um, I see your question, Carrie. We'll get to that here in a minute. But yeah, um, I would love to have more romance in the franchise because I remember when I played it, just being really impressed by the Romeo Juliet aspect. But it is that thing of if I'm playing as him and I'm experiencing that, I'm loving the change up. I'm loving Arno as a character. But, however, I don't sit here and think about Arno ever. Like when I think about the franchise, I'm with you guys. Like I love him as a person, I love him as a character. He is forgettable, unfortunately. Like because I forgot about him. We've all forgotten about him. And we love the game. So, I
Yeah.
think that's saying something. I think you initially, when asked questions like this, you kind of got to go with your gut feeling and your initial response to it. And yeah, my gut feeling is like, well, I did fucking forget him. I still think about Bayek. I still think
Yeah.
about Cassandra or,
Hmm.
Alexios, I mean. I still think about these characters every now and again, but he's not one of them, unfortunately. I think about the
I'm
love story, but I don't think about him.
I'm going to be honest as well. When I was starting out my dive into Unity, I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, yeah.
I could rattle off almost all of their names,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, who was the guy from Unity? Can't I could remember Elsie. I could like remember her because like I felt like her story and her being part of it kind of fleshed out his
Mm-hmm.
story and that whole thing. Um, yeah, Unity's story focused more on personal conflicts than grand conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did that help or weaken the story arc?
Help, help.
Yeah, definitely was a help.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
I think everybody's got it. We got the ideas of the Creed and the Templars, and if you're going to constantly be focusing on the next uh, Apple of Eden relic or whatever every single game, it's going to become boring. It's going to become that Lego game thing of this just feels like a
Yep.
copy paste, like different skin on the same game. And it
Yeah,
is refreshing to sit there and again, like I was saying with Arno having different motives, it's like you're deep into his story and what's going on in his life and what's going on in these the soap opera aspect of everything
yeah,
more so than you are
yeah.
all the things that you were concerned about in previous games. So yeah, absolutely, I do think that did help.
What was Carrie's question? I think we breezed over it.
Carrie's question was uh, Unity or Syndicate and why? Like, which one did we like more? And he was saying,
Oh,
or and a bit in or okay, hold on. Agree, romance was strong in Odyssey and a bit in Origin. Yeah, Origin it was very family oriented. Like I more so
Origin,
than
I found really sad.
yes,
I found that love story like really sad
very
because they were obviously so in love,
yes,
but their paths took them in separate directions.
yes,
And I kind of relate that to my own life and like how I would feel.
yeah.
And like as I was playing it, I was like, this sucks. Like when they're
Yeah.
saying goodbye to each other, you're just like, ooh,
Man, my heart's heavy
yeah,
just thinking about it. But yeah, no, like
yeah.
as far as Unity versus Syndicate, which one?
Oh,
Just real
mate,
quick, I'm gonna say
hope,
Unity for me.
yeah. What's that fucking thing from Black Books? Hopefully, I flip a coin and it explodes and kills me. Um, I both of them have got such amazing parts to it. Like I can't wait to talk about Syndicate later because the gangs of New York style fist fights in the street, oh, brilliant. But yet the setting of Unity, I think I'm gonna have to go Unity
hmm
because like that's the setting of the French Revolution is just it's something that we're missing in Assassin's Creed now is that like epic setting.
Yep,
Yeah, that's me.
yep.
Unity.
and so like, yeah, like you said, there's awesome things in Syndicate that it's like when I think of Syndicate, I love the mission outlay, and we'll talk about this more in that next episode, but I love the missions. I loved the system of it and the world, but I was not as excited for that game at all, just because it's like we're adding a hook, we're adding a cane blade. You get a top hat and a hook on your blade. I'm just like, okay. Unity, I had so much more to get excited for, and I felt like I got it. So
I will say that I had a top hat obsession at one point in my earlier life, and I wore a top hat for quite a while. So when Syndicate came out, I felt fucking validated. Holy shit!
Yes.
I was like, this is
yes.
yeah, and like when you get in a fight and his hat comes off, and then the fight finishes, and you can walk over and pick it up and like put it back on. Fucking so cool.
Yep.
Oh. All right.
What about you, Buck?
I feel like I was really. I think like Unity has the better setting for me, but like there are a lot of things about Syndicate that I like you were talking about the gang style, like gangs of New York style fights. Just that was cool. I think I got to give it to Unity though.
Okay.
But Syndicate was cool. I liked it.
Carrie just said something that I didn't know. So I already knew about the Jack the Ripper DLC, which was phenomenal. When I think of Syndicate, I think of that DLC. Sherlock Holmes missions? Oh, I knew about that. I knew about that. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's coming back to me now. My bad. Yes, those were awesome.
But yeah, the fear mechanic that they brought into that, I would like, because they dabbled with a little bit in 3 when you could string the soldiers up in the trees and it would like kind of scare them. I wish that you could go into that. Like I am so excited about Hex. Like my psychotic sicko brain is thinking of all the amazing, disgusting shit that we can do with witchcraft. And like, setting up like, mate, sign me up.
Yeah,
I'm buying Hex day one. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I might actually go and visit like this, like Salem, North Carolina, whenever that comes out, because we got relatives. When I went to North Carolina a little while back, we were only like 2 hours away from it, and I saw all these road exits to go see it. And I'm like, oh, I really want to go, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I love all that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Like I think it's so cool. All right, last question in this kind of little bit. Unity drastically scaled back the modern day stuff between Black Flag, which had that first person walking around doing all the modern day piracy. Unity had almost nothing. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay. Hands down. I loved the early day stuff when you were Desmond, when you were actually doing stuff, climbing, fighting, whatever. When they brought in that Revelations first person animus jumping bullshit, I hated it so much. And then the first person kind of style they went down, and then all the DLC that they were releasing was all that first person nonsense as well. I'm out. Absolutely out. Yep. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
If you can't get all of your I get that Assassin's Creed grew a whole bunch and that they needed to expand to different teams. Get everybody on the same fucking page, all right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's a lesson to learn. Like, we're currently learning it with our podcast, like trying to communicate more between our different podcasts. It becomes like you don't even realize, like, oh yeah, there's a disconnect here. We need to work on communication. You don't even realize it. It happens easy, but on that scale and that level of professionalism, communication, okay? Like if Assassin's Creed 4 team has this vision and idea, share it with the rest of the team and like, okay, it didn't work out for you. How do we as a team respond to this? Do we keep doing the same thing? Build on? But it's no. Like when I look back at all these Assassin's Creed games, every game is like, what if we did this drastically different thing about somebody nobody fucking cares about? Like every game is that just something different. I mean, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I guess I'm wrong about that because didn't Origin through Valhalla have the same person?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, you were doing stuff
Yeah, you're
that
still doing
that
Yeah.
felt meaningful.
Yeah.
You were can't remember what her name was. Was it Layla or something
Yeah.
along those
Yeah.
lines?
Forgettable
Leah
character
or
again.
something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Leah, something like that.
you were doing things. You were like controlling her,
Mm.
and it was all story orientated. That stuff was not
Yeah.
at all.
Steve, communication is important, but comprehension is the bread and butter. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I've got a couple of rapid fire questions, just to kind of round out the show, and then we could go and play some. I
Let's
reckon.
fucking go.
I reckon that sounds
Yeah,
bloody
let's
good.
do it.
So, should someone play Unity in 2025?
I am. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
forget all the noise. Don't listen to people. There's a funny meme that keeps coming up where, it might be about something different, but where somebody's like, yeah, this is good if you don't have somebody ear telling you that it's terrible. And I feel that way about Unity. Like it's good. Don't, just go into it for yourself.
Yep. Does anyone have a favorite mission or memory? I think you're muted, my friend.
Yeah, actually, I do have a story to share about this one because I kept getting a little bit confused when thinking back to Unity and Syndicate, and I always remember the ending. I don't want to like majorly spoil the ending, especially since we're talking about, yeah, you should go play it in 2025. But the ending mission of them being in that cavern and having all those what happened in that mission and the emotions you felt, I remembered that. And that was a key moment, and it was one of those moments where it's like, I remember this being one of the best romances in video games. One of the best. I'm not saying the best, but one of the best romances in video games. And so it would definitely have to be that mission. And for some weird random ass reason, no, I guess it's not random, but when I was watching that recap of the story, there's a mission where you're like sneaking through, you're doing a mission that you're not supposed to do, you're going against the creed and going against something they told you specifically not to do, but you decide to disobey, you go on this mission, and then you are like peering into this Templar meeting and you find out some crazy bits of information. I remember that mission a lot as well. So while my missions that I don't remember don't have anything to do with the gameplay of it, I do remember like those story beats, and they stuck with me. And I think that's saying something for an 11-year-old game.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I loved how they tackled the DLC of it being set a significant amount of time after a very, very traumatic thing happening, and just kind of thinking to myself, how would I respond to something like that and carry on my life? Like when something so significant in your life happens, and then you just have to keep going. Like that's kind of what I think that was the part for me that kind of made me really like, this is a damn good game. Bucky, anything on your end?
I'm gonna be honest, I can't. Like, I'm still trying to remember going through this game. Like, I downloaded it, my save was wiped. I was like,
Oh,
I
no.
don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. One thing you'd fix in Unity if you were able to. Is there anything that you would change or anything that you would make better?
Make it less buggy.
Yeah, like for me, it's the
Co-op
for me
that
it's the
works.
co-op.
Yeah,
Just
co-op that works.
just embrace the co-op.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then yeah, and the last thing, should Ubisoft return to co-op? Absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And I feel like something like Shadows, a DLC for Shadows that would almost like a just test it. Just test it to see how it would work. One player's Yasuke, one player's Nawe. Give us like a mission. Just one. See if it works, see how we feel. And then do more. Because it's gonna be awesome, I can tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Except who, like, if everyone wants to be Nawe and no one wants to be Yasuke, someone's got to be him.
That's so funny. When I played through that game, like, I don't want to give too much away, but like, I was stuck on one character, and then you switch to the other one, and I was like, oh, but I was kind of like liking that,
Yeah.
but and then you switch back, and you're just like, oh, well, but I was kind of like,
Yep, 100%. Well, that ends it for me. That's really all that I yeah.
Are we gonna do like what are we taking from it, or like have you been like just kind of?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Let's. So I guess we'll take we'll spend a few minutes going through what we want to take from it. For me, the biggest thing is the weapon and customization
Okay.
stuff.
So weapon and customization. We
Yep.
all agree on co-op,
Yep.
yeah,
and then
Man, our game's gonna be fucking amazing.
I know, right?
Co-op. The the love story was pretty cool.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how we could implement that, but I much preferred like a more personal story
Yes.
as opposed to like the bigger picture.
Yes. I agree completely.
And again, I liked what you said. Like he was a bit of a naughty boy, and he didn't do what he was told.
Yeah.
I really like that about him. Because the assassins are so like, we have to do this. It's by the creed. It's for the creed. And he's like, yeah, but I reckon we could do things a little bit.
He's got
differently."
his own story. He's got his own like that
Yeah.
game has such an infamous beginning, and it's like he comes from a very tragic background. Like he has his own agenda, and yeah.
Yep.
So absolutely, I think if we're in our perfect Assassin's Creed game, we're having a story that involves more personal, more like add a romance into it. It doesn't even have to be a romance. Like we were talking about Bayek, and like just how heavy his story is. Like when I think of Origins, I think of how heavy his journey was, and I think about his personal journey, and I almost just completely forgot that like the creed is basically non-existent through the game until the end. So it's like
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we're adding.
Yep.
I don't have any more notes unless Buck does.
nah, I don't have any more notes.
No.
Okay.
See, we've I think because the first few games were so like this is all new,
Mhm.
but now we're just kind of building and just adding more things. So like we've already got the simplified parkour system. We've already got the crowd stealth stuff, which they just made better. What's
Yeah.
up, Nathan?
Steve, he's like, a love story? I'll wait for all y'all's game to hit $25.
Oh,
Disrespectful.
savage.
That is
Fucking
savage. Oh,
savage. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, yeah. So I reckon that about wraps it up for this portion of
Absolutely.
Unity. I will just say that like going so deep into some of these games now, boy, I need to find time to replay them all because
Right?
they're just so
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
I'd forgotten like how good they were. But before we move on to the next bit, Nathan, do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about the Gamers Social Club and what we're doing?
What?
And that stuff that we should have done at the beginning, we didn't.
What are we doing? What is what
Yeah.
is the Gamer Social Club? That's a good question. Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and round out this episode for us, and but we don't go anywhere. Anybody who's watching, unless you've got someplace to
Mhm.
be or need to go to bed, it's 10 p.m. here. But yeah, no, we are going to get into playing a little bit of Unity, but for those of you who are listening on Spotify or watching back this episode later, this is the Gamer Social Club. It is a place where gamers from all around the world come, share their love for video games together in a positive environment. Our goal is to give gamers a platform to share their experiences, to add to the conversation in the games industry, and to give more sense of community and bring back a little happiness into your life. We are also all about having reviews. We're based on a website. We're all about having reviews that are finished all the way up to the credits roll. We do not post news that has rumors or based around rumors. We are completely rumor free. And we also, I feel like there's a third pillar, I can't remember, but we also have other shows. We've got the Girl Pod on Mondays. We've got the weekly news podcast that's been uploaded earlier today. And so go and check those things out. Absolutely fantastic podcasts. I listened to the Girl Pod today, and let me tell you, I feel a little less guilty about getting into the American Assassin's Creed Templar story, because man, they really got into some deep topics on that episode. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
we're all secretly trying to get into the girl pod. I reckon.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I love their dynamic. It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna try and find myself a wig somewhere. So
Yep. You gotta do it.
so when they start opening up for having guests, I'm gonna pop my name down.
Well,
I wanna drink some wine and talk some shit.
here's a little bit of insider information. But some insider information is this is happening very, very, very soon. There might be some. I think as of now, Sean is supposed to be on the next episode, King of the Cask. So that will be fun. So yeah, it looks like that is opening up for us to grab our wigs and hop on. Maybe
Amazing.
Nathania makes an
Amazing.
appearance.
Yeah.
I love that they already gave me a name, but
Nathania.
Dang.
Lady Nathania. I love it. I love it.
But
Alrighty.
before we hop into streamings, where can we find you, Phrase?
So you can find me at FBomb Gaming everywhere, but that's FBomb with an E. So FBOMBE Gaming. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I just play games and just have fun.
Yep.
Super positive. I play all sorts of stuff, simulation stuff, horror stuff, shooting stuff. Just fun. Just lots of fun. Come and hang out. That's it.
And
Love it.
Where can we find you, good sir?
So I'm Jonathan B3 at Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm frequently in the Gamer Social Discord, always talking some type of craziness or posting something. Usually something that's on sale or somebody that needs something that you need to buy.
Right.
So yeah, just you can hit me up anywhere and we'll talk some shit. It'd be pretty fun.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
that is where I'm at as well.
Don't forget to join. Yeah, don't forget to join the Discord, the Gamer Social Club Discord.
We're gonna be voting.
We're going to be voting soon. I think we're going down the single player route this month. Last month we did a few games of FBC Firebreak. Bloody brilliant game. If you haven't played it, check it out. It's fun. It's nothing super crazy. You don't have to invest heaps of time in it. You can just play it for an hour or two, have a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see where they go with it. Yeah, we play a bunch of multiplayer stuff together. So yeah, come and join the fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And y'all can find me, One Hot Dragon, literally everywhere, and primarily I'm hanging out in the Discord. So stick around. Stream's not going anywhere. I'm just gonna run the exit screen and go straight into streaming some Assassin's Creed Unity. So if you're listening to this
Amazing.
on Spotify, go check out the community game night on our YouTube page. Okay.
Amazing.
Peace.
Amazing. Have a great night. Love you. I am just going